Social Media Success Network. Welcome to the workshop. Today we are going to be talking about 4 ways to be successful with your social media. 4 ways to be successful with your social media. And I don't know about you, but social media can be quite a thing. It has its good sides and challenging sides. And so, if you are a business owner in some way, shape, or form, you want to know, how can I leverage it for my business? Earlier today, I was being interviewed, and someone asked me my perspective on using social media for my business, and particularly if you were starting out. And I love working with and talking to and supporting emerging speakers, coaches, and authors. And so I said to them, one of the key things in order to start being successful and leveraging it is a mindset shift. It's no longer for entertainment. And so today I'm going to talk about how you need to start seeing and utilizing social media. So let's get started. Now, this is a workshop, so you want to make sure you're clear on if you should be here or not. And so you may be asking yourself, who is this for? Who should be listening to this? So before I utilize any more of your time, you may be that emerging entrepreneur, super excited about having made the decision to grow a business, build a business, become an entrepreneur, become an author, become a coach, become a speaker, all of those things. I'm so excited. I don't know what to do with myself. That may be you. And if that's you, listen up. Or maybe you are that I'm not sure what's going on. I've been on these social media streets and I've been working it, so to speak, for my business, and nothing seems to be happening as I expect it to. And I'm confused. I'm like, what's going on? What's happening? So maybe that's you. You're confused because you're not seeing the results you were expecting to see. You're not seeing the engagement that you expected to see. You're not seeing the revenue that you're expected to see. And if this is you, stay tuned. Listen up. Maybe you're feeling frustrated. And this may have been a journey from excitement to confused to now I'm just straight out frustrated. I'm frustrated because every time I think I'm taking 2 steps forward and I am doing those things that other people say I need to do, I still don't see what I expect to see. Or as I do 2 steps, I discovered there were 6 more steps I was supposed to do also. And by the way, what language are they speaking? What's an avatar? What's a lead page? What's a sales funnel? What, I hear them as English words, but what do they mean? I'm not clear. So maybe that's you. And if it is, stay tuned. Maybe you are at that stage where, despite the frustration, despite the confusion, you are determined. You may be saying, Miss Nina B, I am here. I've got my pencil and paper because I am determined to learn and understand what I need to do to be successful on social media. So, no more playtime, no more nickel and diming. I'm determined. Can't is not in my vocabulary. I refuse to keep saying not a techie. I'm going to learn what I need to learn in order for this to work for me. And so if that's you, you are in the right place. You want to be successful. And you want to leverage social media to do that. Whatever successful means for you, it may be increased revenue. It may be, millions of dollars, and millions start somewhere. It may be 6, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 figures. Or it may be a lifestyle. It may be time freedom. You want to be successful, but you're clear that social media is part of the equation. So, how do I use social media to be successful? Well, let me share a little bit about me and how I got to this point. I am Miss Nina B. Abdul Wakil. I am a corporate leader and a social media success coach. I'm a multi best-selling author. I'm a member of a dynamic public service sorority. All of these things make up Miss Nina B. But what's relevant to you is I love to stand in front of a room or work one-on-one with people to help them be successful, to help them leverage technology tools and resources to grow their business, their careers, whatever the case may be. So one day, I decided to step out from just doing it haphazardly and step out intentionally and grow a business doing this. And so what you see on the screen is some pictures of me delivering workshops, talking to people, taking pictures with people who were in the class and gained so much value that they rushed to the front of the room and wanted to take a picture with me. But this picture in the bottom left corner is significant because I was standing in the middle of a major road in the Washington, D.C. area. And it was the middle of taking a photo shoot. And I had that moment when I'm like, God, I hear you calling me. And I'm up for the challenge. I hear you calling me, and I raised my hand and said, I'm up for the challenge. The other thing you need to know about me is these two handsome young men are my two sons who I love dearly, and they are some of my greatest cheerleaders. And I want to be setting an example for them that at any age, any point in your life, you get to learn and do. And if you stay connected to me, you will get to see what that looks like for yourself, learning and doing. So in 2018, I had been out on these internet streets for a little while, but I attended a conference. And I was really focused on speaking at that point in time and using speaking to grow my business. So if you're a speaker, you're probably also a coach. Or if you're a speaker, you're probably also an author. What is the thing that vehicle you use to deliver your value to your potential and your clients? So I attended a conference, and just like many conferences, well, then it was in person, and it was a beautiful, slick, glossy, program brochure that showcased the agenda and then all the speakers and their bios and all of this stuff. And I remember sitting there going, how do I get to the point where that's me? I want somebody to have me on their stage. I want someone to invite me to be a speaker and have my picture and my name and my bio in a program book. So, but at that conference, there was a breakout session, and you had an opportunity to ask questions to what I would call a council of coaches. You know, there are all these different business coaches, well recognized, highly admired in their fields. It was a nighttime Q&A session. So I stepped into the mic and I wanted to ask a question about how much do you give away for free? As I was introducing myself, hi, I'm Nina B. Abdul Wakil. I'm a LinkedIn coach, and um, there was a voice from the stage that says, "You're a what?" And I said, "I'm a LinkedIn coach." And the voice says, "How come I didn't know that? How come I did not know that?" And I said, "I don't know." Now, this voice was the voice of the conference host, a master coach, and someone I'd been in her community for several years at that point. And so she was asking, how is it that I can stand there and say I am a LinkedIn coach, and she didn't know it? And she says to me, you know, if I had known that, you would have been on this stage because I needed someone to talk about LinkedIn. At that moment, I realized that I had dropped the ball. I was not making my presence known. I was not intentionally making people aware of who I was and what I did. I was expecting them just to see my haphazard posts and kind of understand that in some kind of way. I walked away from that conference saying to myself, next year, I'm going to be on the stage. And in fact, before I left, I took a picture on the stage so that I could visualize. I would have something so that I could say, Nina, this is what you want in your future. Fast forward a year later, I not only was a speaker that next year at Epicon 19, but I have subsequently been on multiple stages, been a part of multiple summits and conferences, and all as a result of me intentionally creating a plan and executing it using social media. So if you, like me, have a business and right now you're feeling like no one knows who you are, there's a way to close that gap. So let's talk about what social media really is. Too often people are focused on the entertainment element of social media and seeing it as a toy to play with, where it's really a tool, where the media element is the tool to help you build your business. So when people work with me, my clients, they get to understand how to leverage social media as a tool. So today we're going to talk about 4 ways to be successful with social media. There's more than 4, and there's depth to that iceberg. But today we're going to talk about 4. So hopefully you have a pen and paper out and you're taking some notes so that you can leverage this information for your business. So what are the 4 things? 4 ways. 1, be clear. 2, be set up for success. 3, have a content strategy. 4, use systems to scale. On the next couple of slides, I'm going to break each one of these down. Number 1, be clear. Number 2, be set up for success. Number 3, have a content strategy. And number 4, use systems to scale. What does be clear mean? Be clear, be clearly clear. Clarity is everything. Be clear on who you are. I mentioned earlier all the different things that I do and who I am, and I guess it's a fuzzy zone in between. But when it comes to social media and business growth, you have to narrow in on who you are and who you want people to know you to be. So what I mean by that, as you know, I'm a social media success coach. Now, I could also tell you that I'm a baker. And I could also, but I'm not. Let me just say I'm not. That's not my ministry. But you can have a lot of different skills. Many of us do. But when it comes to social media, you don't want confusion to be part of your brand. So you have to decide at this particular juncture when you're trying to set up a strategy for social media, who are you going to be? Who are you going to show up to be authentically? Who are you serving? Who are the people that you are serving? I serve emerging and new entrepreneurs, typically people in their first 3 years of business. Some people could consider that like elementary school level or stage one level in business, however you want to phrase it. Too often, what's happening is people who are starting are trying to go to stage three and stage three coaches, and they really need a stage one coach. And I'm a stage one coach. When you know who you serve, then make sure you're clear about what problem you solve. The problem I solve is to help them to understand the foundation, the basics on leveraging social media and digital marketing to grow their business. What problem do you solve for the people you serve? Then how do you solve it and why are you doing it? I am not the only social media success coach. I may be the only one calling myself that way, but the core of what it is, I know I'm not the only one who understands how to use social media. I know I'm not the only one who is teaching people how to use social media. But there's only one Miss Dina B. And so as long as I'm clear as to who I am, who I serve, why, what problem I solve, how do I deliver that, why am I doing it, that as a package becomes unique. Your unique value proposition is a package of things. But you need to be clear, because if you're not clear, you're never going to be able to convey to someone else to be clear. If you're not clear, then you leave confusion in your wake. Yeah, you can quote that. So what's next? Be set up for success. So the key word here is set up. You have to set up your social media for business. I mentioned earlier that many people have been on social medias for years, some since the beginning of some of the platforms. But they were typically on it for entertainment purposes, connecting to family and friends. When you decide to use it for business, then you need to set it up for business. Set up your business profiles. All the platforms have them. Set up a business profile. Make sure you have your business domains. and email addresses. It's interesting because Gmail is kind of the exception to the rule. But for many things, people are expecting, if they are working with you from a business perspective, if they get an email from you, then they expect it to come from a business domain. Now, nowadays, most people don't blink too much if they see Gmail, but that's not the preferred way when you're doing business. The great thing about Gmail is that you can actually manage all different email addresses all in your Gmail inbox. That's a training I do in my academy. Join the academy if you need to know how to do that. Set up your branding. Do you have a logo? And let me tell you, logos evolve. Any of the major brands you have seen, their logos evolve over time, or some straight out change early on and then continue to evolve. So don't spend a whole lot of time fighting with your initial logo like it's going to be set in stone for the next 100 years. It's probably not. So don't drag out the process. Pick something, just roll it out. Branding involves not only your logo and your color schemes and the mood of your business and your business images that you use, your communication vehicles. So my brand, you'll see there's reds and purples and oranges because bright colors, excitement, energy, that's my brand. What is your brand? And by the way, you are your brand. Particularly when you're emerging, people need to know you in order to trust you and want to do business with you. So that's number 2. Be set up for success. You know, strategy is an important element to leveraging social media. And so having a social media success strategy and plan is critical. A strategy is a plan of action. What am I doing? What is the sequence? What are my goals? It's not just about let me create a couple of posts and post them every day. Where am I taking people? When you're posting on social media, you have to have an end in mind. And so having a content strategy, a plan of action. So I'm going to post these kind of contents today that leads to this, that tells them these things, that asks these questions, that sends them to this website to sign up for a lead page, or sends them to a lead page to sign up for a lead magnet or to sign up for a webinar. It's a journey that you're taking people on from an interested party to hopefully a prospect to a client. But you need to have a plan, a comprehensive plan for your content. And then you execute that plan. And you have measurement points. Measure the success of that plan. And that measurement point could be the growth of your following. It could be the growth of your group. It could be the number of people that are watching your videos, the clicks from your ads. There's so many different things. But this becomes the heart of your social media success. Your content plan, executing that plan, measuring its success, figuring out what's next, all of that, it just becomes a cycle. It's the heart of your social media success. In your content plan, you always want to make sure you cover the 5 C's. And I don't have the time today to delve into each one of these, but I am going to at least mention them for your awareness. The 5 C's for a content strategy: conversation, connection, credibility, community, and conversion. All of these should be part of your content strategy. If you're covering all of these bases, you're going to see your business grow as a result of social media. If you're not doing that, you're missing opportunities and you're creating gaps in your plan and strategy. Okay. The last of the 4 ways you use to be successful with social media is using systems to scale. If you are effectively executing and consistently executing on a content strategy, you need systems to help you manage that. Systems to help you take the process forward for anyone that's interested. Systems like an email marketing system, such that if someone sees you on social media and wants to connect to you and follow up with you or get some more value from you before they're deciding to invest with you, you want to provide that opportunity to them. And some of the early stages is having a lead magnet where someone gives you their information to gain value. This is the principle of I am. People pay you first with their information, then their action, and then their money. If you take it out of order, you cut your revenue by 80%. So you have to have a system for you to capture people's information. And those systems could be an email marketing system, a customer relationship management system, also referred to as CRMs. A system could be a workflow of processes that actually is integrated systems that are a sales funnel. So a sales funnel could something be like, someone fills in an information or interest and then they get an email that says, hey, go watch this video. They go watch the video. Then they say, hey, then why don't you sign up for the program? And then they sign up for the program and then it allows them to pay their money. And then it goes from there. Oh, you paid your money. Now let's send you to these pre-watch other videos and resources, and then you get an invitation to the first session. All of that is a sales funnel, and all of that could be automated. This is how you leverage systems to scale. And then, of course, you have content scheduling systems. You have a content scheduler so that every day you're not manually posting on the different social media sites, but you are spending a particular block of time and bulk uploading and scheduling maybe the post for the week or the month, and then the system automatically triggers and posts at the appropriate time. But all of these systems help you scale because it removes you and your manual labor and time out of the equation to allow a computer system to do the work for you. Doing those things helps you to leverage social media, because if somebody finds you online and is really interested, you don't want them to have a cliff event where they follow a link and nothing can happen for them. They don't have a way to provide you with their information. They don't have a way to indicate that they want to talk to you. They don't have a way to get any additional information about you. You don't want that cliff event. You want it to just be a start of their journey to becoming a customer for you. So systems are important. And the complexity of the systems can grow as your business grows. Okay? And I explain all of this and I teach about all of this and help people implement this in my academy, the Social Media Success Academy. So let me do a recap here of the 4 ways to be successful with social media. Let me move myself in the center. How about that? Ta-da! Okay. So be clear. Be clear of who you are. Be clear of who you serve, what problem you're solving, why you're solving it, all of that. Why are you serving? Why are you doing this? Then be set up for success with your business. Set up your business profile. Get your domain name and email addresses and all of those things that really help from a digital perspective to showcase that you are a formal business. Then have a content strategy. Have goals, set out a plan, execute on that plan, and then measure the success. Your first plan's goal is probably typically awareness, because if no one knows who you are, no one will invest with you. So, there's a whole strategy around an awareness campaign. And then last but not least is use systems to scale. Scale your business by using things like email marketing, CRMs, automated sales funnels, automated webinars, all kinds of tools and techniques are available for businesses depending on your needs and how you want to invest. But I teach and talk about all the components that I talked about right here to help you be successful. I teach and talk about this in my Social Media Success Academy. I invite you to connect with me. I invite you to connect and grow. So you can start by connecting with me in my community, the Social Media Success Hotspot. You simply can go to Join Miss Nina B, and that link will take you straight to my community. And it will, all you have to do is indicate, hey, I want to join, answer a couple of questions, and then go from there. It's a great source of information. I communicate and I serve my community every week, all week long, in different ways, and provide valuable information to the members of the community. In addition to encouraging a collaboration and support environment, because we can't do this alone. We can't do this alone. You don't have to be a solopreneur, truly in the full sense of the word. You can collaborate with others at the same level and a little higher to take you to the next level. But I've been talking about my Social Media Success Academy. I just want to give you a sneak peek of what that is. It is the number one training and development environment for new coaches, speakers, coaches, and authors. If you are new, emerging for 1 to 3 years, and you're trying to learn how to leverage social media and how to navigate these internet streets with digital marketing, you need to be in my academy. It's a great source for you to learn and grow your business. Just because you're new, just because you're beginning, it doesn't mean that you can't be successful. To find out more information, just simply go to socialmediasuccessacademy.com and you'll find all the information, including what the next steps are for you if you are interested in becoming a part of the academy. Okay. I believe that's all I have for you. Thank you so much for watching and participating in this workshop. Hope you took great notes, and I hope you are enjoying the learning. I'm Miss Nina B, founder of the Social Media Success Network and Dean of the Social Media Success Academy, and your social media success coach. Have a great one.
Folk Marquise, and welcome to my keynote. The title of this keynote is, Oh, You're Naked Too, a major mindset shift to a new you. Now, this keynote is for you if, like me, you felt suffocated. You felt as if you had asthma, which I never did. But this last one, you felt as if you was drowning. As a child, I almost drowned a number of times. And I can describe to you the horrifying feeling as you were just under the water, looking at the light. You can see the surface as the waves just wave. And it's just like right there, but you like right here. And you've been holding your breath for seconds and seconds and seconds. And you feel like your head gonna explode, like your chest is so much pain. And you like, if I could just get right here, the surface is right here. Everything I want is right here. And that's that air. And it's like literally right here, but you right here. You ever felt like that? I know I have, because I done almost drowned quite a few times. But this ain't about drowning in. Shout out to the GOAT. This ain't an Eric Thomas guru speech. How bad do you want it? As bad as you want to breathe. This not one of those, even though that's a classic. I'm talking about your spirit, man. I'm talking about your inner man. I'm talking about the real you that you constantly suppress, that you constantly oppress, that you constantly keep locked up. Because you're so concerned about everybody else's thoughts about you. You're so concerned about what are they going to think? What is she going to think? You're so concerned that you forgot that these are just people. Now, there's a scripture that says, give honor where it's due. Do that. Respect individuals. Do that. But, oh, you're naked too? That's about the constricting feeling that you feel in the core of your being because you walk around keeping your light hidden from everybody. You don't want to shine and truly glow and be who you were called to be because you walk around in such fear. When Trevor put this platform together, he said, I need y'all to give one major idea that people can utilize in their life and their business. And I was like, oh, I got it. I know exactly what I'm going to talk about. And that's the fear and the people pleasing. So I got a few takeaways that I want to give you, that I want to share with you. The first one is that awareness is the key to transformation. I talk about that in my workshop, my Reset the Alpha framework. But I talk about awareness because until you're aware, truly aware that you're people pleasing, until you're truly aware that you're walking in fear, that you're living in fear, that you continuously turn down your light, you turn down the volume of that sauce, of that swag, of that glow, of that God-given greatness inside of you, you always walk around turning it down. Because you don't want people to feel some type of way. You have put yourself in the bondage and handcuffs the invisible handcuffs of other people's opinions, other people's thoughts, other people's concerns. How's that working out for you? I know how it worked out for me when I had certain people in my life who I love dearly, who I respect dearly. But I always put on this show, put on this front, and I walked around feeling like I was dying inside because I didn't want to just maximize and glow. I didn't really want to turn up the power that's on the inside of me and walk in the fullness of who I was called to be. Because for so long I was afraid they're going to shun me. They ain't going to want to be around me. Till I realized, oh, they naked too. I thought so highly of certain individuals. I felt as if I was less than, in comparison to certain individuals. Till I started to realize, oh, they naked too. So the first key of awareness is the key to transformation. What that means is once you become aware that your life is here when it should be here, things start to change. I had a very long conversation with a friend of mine today. And amazingly, you can't make this stuff up. This was the subject of our conversation. He had become finally frustrated enough that he was going to live and be the best version of himself. He wasn't going to allow the opinions of mentors or the opinions of family members or the opinions of others to put him in bondage any longer. Can you relate to that? Is there something that you know deep down inside that you wanted to do, who you wanted to be, but you haven't done it because of others? I know that was my story, but now I feel free. So awareness is the key to transformation. Once you become aware that you are not living to your capacity, that you are not maximizing your capacity, your abilities, because of fear, things begin to change for you. Things begin to change for you. So the second thing that I wanted to share is loyalty. Loyalty to yourself. Now, I don't mean in an egotistical, vain type of way, like, you know what, F everybody, I'm going to do me, such and such, I'm fly, I look so good. No. We don't want to bring that type of energy into it. Because nobody want to be around that. You will stop wanting to be around yourself. Your head's so big, you just like, man, you taking up all the space. Not like that. But when you truly become concerned about your well-being, everything changes. Everything changes. When somebody say, hey, come help me, I need you to do this. Hey, come, I need you to do that. I need you to, and you're like, whoa. I'll get back to you. Let me check. Let me check my schedule. Let me see what I need to do. Let me see. I'll get back to you. Instead of, yeah, I got you. Yeah, I can help you. Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, just yes. The more you say yes to everybody, you say no to you. How does that feel? I know how it feels. It's very painful. Now let me put this in the proper frame for you. Let me give you the proper perspective. Now, it's cool to be a servant. The greatest teacher of all, from the plains of Galilee, he was a servant. He said, I came to serve. I came to serve. I believe it was Jim Rohn that says, service to many leads to greatness. If you help enough people get what they want, you get everything You won't. Zig Ziglar. So there's nothing wrong with serving. There's totally nothing wrong with adding value. There's nothing wrong with showing up and being of service and helping people and feeding the homeless and doing pro bono work and pouring out yourself. No. You give, you receive. But even have the heart to give just because it's good to give and it feels great to give. Nothing wrong with that. However, if you do that from a place of neediness, a place of brokenness, a place of codependency, it's the wrong energy. That's the wrong mindset. That's the wrong heart set. That's the wrong place. When you do that, when you move like that, you losing. You dying on the inside. Because you walking in the fear. Again, that fear, if I say no, what are they going to think? If I say no, I can't do that, how are they going to feel? How are they going to look at me? Till you realize, oh, they're naked too. It's just another person. I'm sorry, Mom, I can't do that right now. I'm sorry, Dad, I can't come and help you right now. I had other plans. I'm sorry, such and such. I had other plans. Oh, I'm sorry. The more you say that in loyalty to yourself, you regain that power. You regain that love for yourself. Because if you really be honest, how much do you begin to dislike yourself? How much do you begin to almost hate yourself when you constantly saying yes to everybody else, putting off your dreams more and more, putting off your rest more and more, digging into your funds and your savings and your business funds and your everything else more and more because you don't want to say no. It's a very painful place to be in. But it's okay. Because as you begin, because of that awareness, to start being loyal to yourself, loving yourself, self-care Sunday for yourself, everything begins to change. Everything begins to change. And the last thing that I want to share with you, and this really, really helped me over the last 1 or 2 years, more than ever, this has been my mindset. The last thing that I want you to take with yourself, or take away, is everybody's flawed. Everybody's flawed. So go ahead and be yourself to the max and leave that legacy. I used to have a perspective of, oh, he this. And I don't have all those qualities, so, maybe, I'm that. Or, oh, she doing this. Or she was that. And maybe because I didn't do this and that, then I'm not that. Maybe I'm less than that. I lived that way in comparing myself. And I felt many times that I was less than. Oh, this person got this program. Let's talk that business. Oh, this person program is this. That person program is that. I spent so much money buying other people's programs, and I ain't knocking nobody. And I was like, I already know that. I know 60% of the stuff in their program that I just paid $2,000 for. And they got errors and misspellings and this and that. Oh. They're naked too. I realized they were naked too. So what I mean by everybody's flawed, so max out yourself and then you're going to leave a legacy. as you think from that place, live from that place, move from that place, everything changes. Again, yes, you can honor people. Yes, you can give respect. Yes, you can acknowledge people's winnings and all of that. All of that is phenomenal. That's what we should do. But remember, you're fearfully and wonderfully made also. You got the juice also. You got the swag also. You got the sauce also. So as long as your eyes are on others and you seeing them so far up here, I don't care who it is. If you compare yourself in that regard and you feel less than, you're going to operate from that less than vibration, that less than energy, and your life is going to manifest such. Your life is going to manifest such. Your business is going to manifest such. Today is the day. Today is the day that you become aware that you've been living beneath your means. That you've been living beneath your means. Today is the day that you become aware that that greatness that's inside of you is supposed to be outside of you. That greatness that's inside of you is supposed to be outside of you in the form of a book, in the form of music, in the form of stand-up comedy, in the form of teaching classes, in the form of whatever it is that you were called to do. Today is the day you let go of that fear that's been holding you in bondage. You've been putting your light under a bush, putting it in the closet. I don't want nobody to think no type of way. Today is the day that you become loyal to yourself. Today is the day that you love yourself. Remember, on the airplane, when the turbulence started coming, what does the flight pilot say? He says, when the mask drop down, put it on yourself first. Then you assist those that's next to you. How can you pour from an empty cup? If you always give, but never take the time to receive, never take the time to rest, never take the time to grow, never take the time to recuperate, but you constantly give from a desirous place of being wanted, of being needed, you living in a low vibration. And you will never attract all the greatness that was destined to be in your life. I know. I've been living that way far too long. Although I've accomplished a lot, I'm nowhere near where I should be, and using the power of my imagination could be. Because I've lived to please others, not realizing that, oh, they're naked too. So as I close, don't forget the third one. The first one was awareness. The second one was loyalty and love to yourself. And lastly, everybody's flawed. Everybody's flawed. Everybody's got some form of a skeleton that they want to stay in that closet. So don't judge others. You don't want to be judged yourself. Stay cool. Stay calm. Be yourself. Let your light shine. Max out who you are. Be the best version of you that you was called to be in every sense of the word. And make sure that you leave a legacy. So I'm going to leave you with this. I'm Marquise. People are people. So go be great. Thank you.
People that are on the ground. Both of them are not breathing. They look like they're dead, but you notice maybe a little bit of chest rise. And you also notice a little white bag of white powder between the two of them. This is a moment where you have to decide, do we help people? And if so, how can we best help these people to survive? My name is Carlos Silva, and this is my reality at least 7 days a week, working on an ambulance as a paramedic within the inner city in Connecticut. And thankfully, I am also a John Maxwell certified coach and speaker. And today I would like to speak to you about communication. In particular, what I would like to differentiate for you so that you can put into any scenario in your life, whether it be talking with family, whether it be in your job with another fellow coworker, if you're some type of supervisor or manager and you are leading people, if you're a teacher and you need to get the best out of your students, or even if you were just in a relationship and you want to be able to interact with your significant other. The thought that we have today is the difference between communication and actually connecting with people. So the first question we have to ask is, why is it important to be able to connect with people versus just communicating? Well, before we can answer that question, it's very important to understand one crucial element. And that element is that the ability to connect with others begins with understanding the value of people. Now, let me repeat that again. The ability to connect with others begins with understanding the value of people. Now, surely those of you who are watching this can think of a coworker or somebody that you've run into, even if it was just at say a music venue or even a restaurant, where the only thing that these folks really cared about was themselves. They seem self-centered, they seem absorbed in only what is important to them. The problem that we have with this is if you try to communicate with somebody, what exactly is communication? It's an exchange of words. We can exchange words and it doesn't matter because we can get our thought out to the other person and we can get those words that we want to say to the other person. The real trick and where we actually become effective and hopefully efficient in our effect of what we are trying to say to the other person is in connecting with that person. When you actually communicate with somebody, there are three things that any person is going to ask you, be it a student, be it your children, be it coworkers, be it subordinates that you are in charge of if you're a manager or a boss or anything like that. And the three questions that anybody is going to ask as soon as you address them is, one, do you care for me? These people want to know, are you in it just for yourself, or is there an element that I actually empathize, sympathize with the person who's about to be addressed? The second question is, can you help me? People really do things based on what it is that they need. Think about children. When they come up to you, the only thing that they're really looking for is, I want this. Can this person get it to me? And of course, the greatest example of this is if a child asks mom, can I go do this? Can I hang out with my best friend? And mom says no. What's the first thing that they do? They're going to run to the other adult, whether it be another mom, whether it be a dad. And what's always going to happen? Well, especially with dads, go ask your mother. Well, she said to ask you. And now they try to play it off each other, right? So, can you help me? I want something. And you addressing me, is that going to actually give me what it is I'm looking for? And the biggest of these three questions that they have to ask, and you always have to keep in the back of your mind is, can I trust you? Think about your own particular situation. I'm sure that everybody has had a job at some time in their life where they either worked as a teenager in high school or, even now. When you see a supervisor who talks to you and they come up to you, or even another coworker, Do you ever have in the back of your head, oh, great, what does this guy want now? He only asks me for something when he needs something. And then we also have those people that we look up to and we actually want to help. I myself, I know I have one particular supervisor when I work at the ambulance company that if he opens his mouth and he says, hey, listen, I need a favor, I am actually 100% engaged listening to what he needs, because I know not only is he going to watch out for me, not only is he going to help me to get out on time, and if I have to get out on, a little bit late, that he's going to make it so that it's not as annoying or painful. And lastly, I know I can trust him because he's always there looking out for my interest as well as for the company's interest. Another great example of this, I'm sure everybody at some point in some time has gone to actually buy a car or negotiate looking for a car. Think about the average car salesperson. What is it that we automatically think when someone walks up to us? Why, hello, are you looking for a car? How can I help you? And the first thing that we're thinking is what? Oh, dear God, this guy's going to try to sell me the most expensive, the most ridiculous, and the most impractical vehicle. I know what I want. I know what I need. I'm going to set him straight. And somehow we get lucky every once in a while finding somebody that those three things actually fall in line. So continuing with those three thoughts, especially with the thought of, can I trust you? You need something from me, but can I trust you to do the right thing? We also have to remember that whenever people take action for anything, they agree to do something or they're going to do it on their own, they do it for their reasons, not for mine and not for yours. Again, whenever somebody takes action, they do it for their reasons. They don't do it for anybody else's. And it's very important because, again, if it's something that they want to do, this is the right thing, I'm going to help somebody. Or, I'm really kind of contributing to the team, sure, I'll help out. But if in the back of their head, all they're thinking is, forget it, I just want to go home. I've been here too long. Everybody's been annoying me today. I'm just going home. Doesn't matter what you beg and plead. You'll always get what they want, unless you can connect and you can get your thought across to them so that way you can exchange ideas. So this just begs the question, why do we bother connecting with other people? Why don't we just communicate? Let me throw words at you, you throw words at me, and then we'll decide whether or not it's going to happen. Well, the first reason is basically we want to succeed at whatever it is that we want to do. If you need to elicit the help of somebody or you need to direct a team into doing something, think about all those great group projects that you used to do in middle school or high school. There was always what? The majority of people that just sat there, they were doodling, or nowadays they're playing on their cell phone. And there's always one or two people who really did all the work. Well, at the end of the day, you need to get it done. We want to succeed and we want to try to do it as efficiently as possible with the maximum effect. This is one of the biggest reasons why we need to connect. If we can get our ideas across and a few other things that we'll talk about, your success rate astronomically goes through the roof. The second reason that most people don't even think of, and it's something that most people don't even consider, which I consider to be the most important aspect of why we want to connect with others, is because when we connect with others, we position ourselves to make the most of our skills and our talents. Now think about all the things that you have done. For a lot of folks, they go on to college, they go on to trade schools, they go on to secondary schools. Maybe people are going for their master's or their doctorate, or even just an apprenticeship where they've put in years to be able to perfect their craft. Why is it important? Well, when we connect with others, we are actually passing along a piece of us that shows our skills and our talents. Think about Oprah. Now, you guys are probably going, what do you mean about Oprah? Well, As we all know, Oprah is kind of this great authority that, hey, what would Oprah do if I needed to find a doctor, or I want to lose weight, or I'm having this problem with my kids? So, millions upon millions of people used to watch her talk show, and they used to take her advice very seriously. Now, part of that reason is what? She used to bring experts onto her show. If you think about Dr. Oz, if you think about Dr. Phil. Now, regardless of whatever your feelings may be on this is important because Oprah didn't give her opinion about, well, you're having trouble with your kids, this is what I would say you do. She brought a psychologist, psychiatrist, Dr. Phil, who is an expert who has spent years upon years in studying and actually practicing their craft. Let's take Dr. Oz as the example. Most people, now they know, of course, but back then they didn't realize. Cardiothoracic surgeon, instructor at a major university for medical things, and people know him as, oh, that's the doctor that was on Oprah. What is the point behind this? Well, Oprah leveraged their skills and their talents to be able to bring it to her general audience so that way they could make an informed decision. And as a result, we borrowed the credibility of these experts so that way we can continue forward in getting what we wanted across. Simple example, hey, I wanted to lose weight. Dr. Oz recommends this. Well, if Oprah trusts him, why not? So the next question that we have to ask is, okay, I can see that there's a relative importance between communicating, just sending words out, and actually connecting, where the words actually are processed by the other person. Well, how are we able to actually connect with someone versus just speaking at them? Well, before we can answer that question, we need to understand a couple of things. The first thing is that there are 3 parts of communication that you need to have in order to be able to just get words out. The first one are the actual words that we are using. And think about it. Depending on how somebody speaks at you, the words that they use are going to do one of 2 things. They're going to engage you, or they're going to distract you and turn you off. Let me give you an example. If you've ever had to talk to a doctor, there are different types. The big thing that you want is you want a doctor that's going to explain to you what is happening. They can give you all the medical terminology in the world, and unless you have medical training and years of involving yourself with these words, it's no good. I mentioned before, Dr. Oz was a cardiothoracic surgeon. Do you know what that means? Do you have to look up the words? There's nothing wrong with that, but at the same time, if they're speaking to you like that with big terms that you have no idea, the brain shuts off and it just becomes, okay, they're talking to me. Okay, I'll just nod. I don't want to look stupid. Right. Thank you, doctor. Excellent. Good. And as soon as they leave, what do you do? Do you understand anything that they just said? I have no idea. Well, let's go ask this person who's a nurse, or, hey, my buddy's an EMT. Maybe they understand a little bit of this and we'll figure it out. Second part of communication is the tone of voice. Depending on how somebody speaks to us, we understand it's either going to engage us or, again, it's going to turn us off. And think about it. If someone, let's take the greatest example in the world, when mom is angry. You can tell if she uses your first name and your middle name, oh boy, we're in trouble, right? So take that a step further with, how is it that she is calling you? Carlos. Oh, mom wants something and she's being really sweet. I wonder what she needs. Or, oh boy, what does mom want now? Versus, Carlos Antone, get over here. Uh-oh, now what do? Do I run out the door? Do I hide? Did I break something? And I know I did. So again, the tone of voice. And you have to think about this when you speak with other folks, because depending on how you speak, if you speak down to them, they're just automatically going to feel maybe insulted, like, why is this person thinking that they're better than me? I get how to do this. Why don't you just talk to me? Or, hey, listen, I really need a big favor. Okay, well, you've got my attention. You're being sincere, and it sounds like you're in a jam. Maybe I can help. What is it that you need? And lastly, the third part of communication is body language. If you watch everything that I'm doing today, you'll notice that I do talk with my hands a bit, but I always try to keep what's called an open posture. How many times have you gone up to somebody, or you know somebody that all they do is the only time they need to contact you is when they need something? So what do? They come over to you. Hey, just the person I was looking for. Yeah. What do you need? What do you want this time? Notice how this body posture closes your body off. I am not open to listening to what you have to say. I am not really considering anything that you were going to say right now. And quite honestly, you're wasting your time. But hey, it's your time, not mine, that you're wasting. Versus hands in the pockets. Maybe it sends a signal of, you know what, I really don't care. Maybe it sends a signal of, hey, I'm kind of relaxed. Sure, man, what do you need? Open. Hey, listen, what can I do for you? I want to be actively engaged with you. Talk to me. Let's exchange ideas. Now, those are the three parts of communication. There are also three essentials to communication. Notice how complicated. It's not just I'm going to throw words at you, because everything that we do really affects the way that the words get across to the other person that's hearing them. So the first one, the first essential, is thought. It all has to do with something that we know. And again, think about the Dr. Oz and Oprah thing. Dr. Oz is a medical expert. They don't really bring him out as, hey, he's this great cardiothoracic guy, which means that he really focuses on the cardiovascular system and on the heart, which is in the thoracic cavity, which is in the chest. They just bring him across as, hey, this guy is a teacher at a major university and he's a surgeon. You should probably listen to him because he knows more about medicine than any of us do. Hey, it's something that he knows. The second essential is emotion. We need to understand that there is something that we feel. Let's take that example before where I said, hey man, listen, I really need to ask you something. Okay, there is an emotion here. This person is in a jam. What can we do to help if we're interested in helping at all? Or you can think of any other type of emotion or feeling that's in there, right? Apply this to yourself. Think about different times that people have come up to you. They're in a jam, but they don't really know you, or maybe they have a chip on their shoulder that maybe they're jealous of something that you've done. So what do you end up getting? Hey man, I need this. You're like, okay, they're invested in it, but they're not talking to me and really selling me on it. So you know what? That's their emotion. Not my monkeys, not my zoo, right? And lastly, the third essential is action. Something that we do. Think about electricians. Think about anybody in the trades, a plumber, even myself, a paramedic. I can't tell you the number of times that I've had neighbors come over, bang on my door going, oh my God, the dog started pulling grandma, grandma fell, she skinned her knee and everything, so can you help? Well, sure, it's something that I do. I work on the ambulance. I take care of people in emergencies. Or, hey, you know, my best friend is a plumber. I'm having a problem with my dishwasher. Let me give them a call and see what they think. Now, of course, this can backfire because if you're always trying to get them to do stuff for you, and we all know this, right? Man, maybe I got to give them something, show appreciation, or just not ask them as much, right? So let's now talk about the important part. We've already talked about communication, which is getting the words out, but what about the connection? The number one thing that we all need to make sure that we do, and it doesn't matter if we're asking something that is life or death, if we're leading somebody into a critical element of our work for a project we need to do, or even if it's just, listen, I want to ask you out. The important thing for connection is that you need to be more than just a messenger. You must be the message that you want to deliver. Again, let me repeat that. You need to be more than just a messenger. You must be the message that you want to deliver. When it comes to dating, people will always say the exact same thing. If you don't have confidence in yourself and you don't express that, hey, listen, I think that we would be really good together. Why don't we try going out? Automatically, you kind of turn the other person off because maybe they're just like, yeah, you know what? They had a little more confidence. Maybe if not, I got to drag everything out of them. Not 100% of the time, right? But it is something that happens. More importantly, though, and this is what you're expecting, of course, because all of this is, theory until you can put it into practice and make it work for you in whatever scenario that you're in. How is it that we're able to be that message? Well, the first thing is you have to make it your vision. And this is not easy. Think about you are just a person that works for a company. Well, your boss needs you to do something, but you're not 100% on board with it. It's going to be a hard sell for you to get your people to kind of join you in on this and actually bring about a result that is going to be absolutely stellar and is just going to knock it out of the park. Whereas you get the idea from your boss or whoever it is that passes on to you, and you run with it. You really totally believe it, 100%. Take teachers, for example. The curriculum says you need to teach this. Well, I'm 100% on board that if they don't learn multiplication, they're not going to be able to carry it forward into using more advanced mathematics. All right, I need to get these kids to understand this is important. All right, gang, here's what we need to do. And this can be carried over into any field regardless. So think about that. Be the message that you want to pass along and make it your vision, even if it's not. Because if you don't believe in it, I promise you, nobody else will either. And if you don't believe that, let me give you a great John Maxwell quote. Nothing can happen through you until it happens to you. Hear that again. Nothing can happen through you until it happens to you. If you don't believe it, nobody else will. Another interesting statistic that you need to understand is that there's a great book. It's How to Talk So People Listen by Sonia Hamlin. And the quote that she came up with, it's an actual study, is that people remember 85 to 90% of what we see, but less than 15% of what we hear. So again, John Maxwell has a book called Everybody Communicates, Few Connect. The idea behind this is, think about little kids when they're growing up. If they're doing something that they shouldn't be doing, what happens? Well, I was watching mom, I was watching dad, I was watching uncle, whatever. They see it and they try it. Same thing, I used to be a public school teacher. I used to have my kids, hey, listen, here's the theory behind it. Let's talk a little bit. Now let's get it in your hands and let's get it so that it becomes practical so that your muscle memory remembers it. 85 to 90% of that is just from watching somebody and seeing what happens. And if you don't believe me, try to think about anybody that you've worked with or somebody that you really kind of admire. You don't really remember a lot of what they say. I can't quote everything, but you can remember the things that they've done and maybe something that you like so much, you took it and you made it into something that is your own personal. So make sure that whatever it is, you want to be the message, you have to be the message so that way it can work to you, so it comes through you, and people will see it, and the example will be stellar. Wrapping up, how do we know when we've actually connected with somebody versus just speaking to them? Well, I have 6 little things that I want you to take away, and I want you to think about this every time you talk to somebody. Number 1, did I impart value? Did I give value? This talk today, I spent days upon putting things together, doing research, trying to make sure I didn't overload you with worthless parts that it's great theory, and I can make this talk last for an hour at least. But what do you need in 20 minutes so that way you can take this home and you can be successful in whatever you want to do, whatever you need to do? I want you to have value. I want you to feel like you're getting something out of this. Application. Have we given you a game plan so that way you can be successful in carrying something out? Now, this doesn't mean micromanaging. What it simply means is, hey, I'm going to break this up. Here's an idea. Let's talk a little bit. What are you thinking? What's the best way to go about doing this? And then you work a game plan out with the person that you're working with, or even yourself. Sometimes, you've heard the old adage, I talk to myself because I need an expert opinion sometimes. There it is. Relevance. Do we understand and can we relate to the audience that we are talking to? I know that everybody here is watching this because they want to be in a better place. They want to move ahead. They want to be successful. And they're going to do everything they possibly can to get out from just, hey, you're just average. No, listen, if it was good for them, it's good for you. We deserve better and you deserve better. And that's why we're here, to help give you the tools to make you a success. You're already successful from being here to listen to this. But let me tell you, you can take it to the top. Expectation. Did I actually please my audience? I know some of my jokes are corny, but I tried to be open. I tried to smile. I tried to make sure that you got the best of me during this presentation. Integrity. Did I do my best? Like I said, I've put in days of preparation for this. I tried to make sure that I streamlined this so that way you had tools to take with you. I gave you 101% of my ability and my information. And lastly, change. Did I make a difference? Did I help to make a difference in your life by hearing this information? Some of it might just be interesting, that's fine. But did I make a difference just in the simple thought of, hey, have I just been communicating to people and maybe that's why I'm not as effective? Or did we give you a little extra something, realizing, hey, maybe I've just been talking at people instead of talking with people? Be the difference and be the change that you always hope somebody would be for you. Be the model and bring it right back. In closing, that scenario, both people had overdosed. My team was the fire department. I also had an EMT partner with me. I got 2 people. I can't run around starting IVs on both people simultaneously. I'm just not that talented to be able to do that, especially with the distance. So it's simple. We all had a common goal. These people can die if we don't help them. Okay, I've got this person. You guys come over here. I need one person to start breathing for them. One person breathing here. I need this kit from my partner. I'm going to do this. You guys grab the nasal atomizer because it's another way to give the medication. And you know what ended up happening? Not only did they both live, but they're both around today, and thank God from quick thinking and actually seeing the other person that they loved in danger, they were able to change their ways and make a better day for themselves. Thank you so much for joining me on my talk today, the difference between communication and connecting. If you ever need anything, we are here for your success. Thank you for joining me today.
Scientists believe that they are disproving God's existence with their discoveries, but in reality, they are verifying the Word of God itself. That unique DNA that we